Hello and welcome. This is Diana, and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is going to be a sign for Aries. And there's kind of like this, there's a faith in the future that like everything, there's like this peace. There's not this angst. There's like this, yeah. It's kind of like when somebody finds out like what actually has taken place in the background, um, or it could be actually energetically, this is what's happening to somebody. Pardon me. Ooh, that kind of hit out of nowhere. I am so sorry. Um, which it's toasty in my house, so I don't know. I'm getting this like whiff of like cold air hitting. Um, You could be working with Archangel Michael, and there could be an acceleration forward in regards to your spiritual upgrades. And it could very well be to the golden stellium. So it says the golden stellar internet, the law, Metatron, heaven to earth, uh, eliminate eliminated masters, be a spreader of love, teleportation and levitation, and a new child or new children. Be all you can be. Um, Expanding your gifts and your power. If you do happen to figure out, Aries, what is up with the teleportation or the levitation, teleportation I can kind of get, right? Because you can drop into your cognitive awareness and then like just kind of bilocate essentially. Not the physical form, obviously, but it's the astral projection. But if you get really good, you can actually see and hear what's actually happening on the other side, right? And it's kind of like an insight or a drop into the. It's kind of like they give you a picture, or you kind of get the picture, and then you see all of the things happening in the background. And I'm kind of getting like there is like a wish, a hope, a desire for justice to truly be served. And there is going to be a child. It could very well be like a child somebody didn't know they had. That child can very well speak to animals, and that can be just like, again, a gift in their lineage, right? That they collected from possibly a mom. Um, there's something going on in regards to there's like a ripple, and they're showing me like the whole Spaceballs where he does the whole, we're here. No, we're there. No, we're back here. And they're like kind of like looking at the mirrors of like all of the things, and he's like, no, speed it up. No, go back. You know what I mean? And so like there's that kind of like a hyper speed, or maybe even like with Barf. Um, with Spaceballs. Yeah, it's all Spaceballs. It's like all like it's the whole like maybe you want to rewatch that. I can't believe that there's going to be anything like enlightening, but it may be like entertaining. I love Mel Brooks. He's like one of my favorites. It's kind of crude, but it's very entertaining. So you could okay, so for those of you that need to like release energy, right, where somebody did do you dirty, or where you've been fighting the duality of the light and the dark, the sun and the moon, the masculine and feminine, like where you're trying to find your own inner balance, that could very well be taking place, right? And that's the fifth dimension of like being in your heart center, not holding Malice, you could very well be a life path 8, because I'm kind of seeing like that understanding the boomerang factor. The what you put out is the what comes back to you. And through your frequency alignment, you're going to kind of notice that like people's third eye is kind of tapping in and aligning with. Um, it's kind of like when you re-enter into life with the virility of gratitude, um, all of this narcissistic behavior or energetic frequencies are going to be falling away, right? It's almost kind of like you visually see the entity that is behind the narcissism or is behind the self-deprecating. It's kind of like that like me only child syndrome, um, which it's a real thing out there, right? Like, I mean, it's hard to understand a perspective if you've never had it explained to you or you've seen it in a healthy attribute, right? And so you could be very condescending and quick-witted and like sharp tongue. Uh, but it's kind of like you're mimicking like the negativity, the angst of like what it means to be forged in fire. I don't know. Like it's kind of weird. It's like if you have had a heartbreak, or you've had unrequited love, right? Remember that is a frequency that has to do with them. It doesn't have to do with you. And although you can feel the past lives that you've lived together, or you may have had a dream, um it's really like telling you lean into you being a free thinker, lean into you being open, to pulling in that magnetism of like you deserve better. You have been working hard in regards to understanding your own self-worth, but it's been at the flight of like your emotions, right? Like, and that comes to a lot of people don't realize that the emotions that are emitting out of you are due to an entity attachment, right? And you really have to get to the core crux of number one, how are they getting in? What is it within your lifestyle that is creating an open gateway for them to slide into your auric field, right? Where have you not been or maybe that's happening to the person that screwed you over, right? Maybe they're starting to have impediments. Maybe they're starting to deal with entity attachments, not realizing what was actually being held for them or held back. Because you could have been a blocker, right? You could have been a protector. And when you pull back your protection, it instantaneously invokes and covers all of the aspects of self, right? Um, and just because it's time doesn't mean that, yeah, I mean, sometimes just because it's been time doesn't mean that another person has evolved in the same manner in which you have, right? They're all on different paths in different ways and different frequencies. And so you have to honor that journey. Whatever, happens to unfold, however you lean into your abilities. Um, and maybe you're writing this out. So I would definitely like try the 3-2-1 method from Jose Silva. Allow yourself to get into a state of rest, into a state of reflectiveness. Go down the journey of the past lives, the relationships where you've been holding on to a state of sorrow or mm, a hoping. I don't know. There could be something with a judgment. It's a decision. It's a decision to no longer be the martyr, no longer to be the footstool. It's kind of like it's kind of like it's. I can relate to this, right? Because when I went through cancer, God, it's been like 9 years ago now, almost. Yeah, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Okay, that could be very much a gray, right? Like you could, it could feel like it was just yesterday, but in actuality, it's been a while. And you could very well be in a state of like fight or flight or angst or uncertainty that could be throwing you out of your physical form, right? And always like during your meditations, if you find that you're standing on your head, like ask your higher self to pull your soul into your physical body. This is for somebody who's either a water sign, you have a lot of water in your chart, which is weird because if you're Aries, like that means that you'd be creating steam, which would cause for you to be out of your head, right? Or out of your body. And so like whenever you're in over emotional or when you're like getting into a state of angst, like ask yourself for alignment. Like, just see it, think it, pull it to your reality. And then every time that you are in a sense of anger or frustration, like ask yourself, like, what paradigm am I operating out of? What is my dimension? That is my reality. And where do I want to be at peace and how far away from peace am I? Right. And as you're going through and you're feeding what you deserve when you are cultivating your recovery time, it's really, and maybe some of you need to go to Arizona, um, or you're from Arizona. I don't know. Um, but yeah, there has to be a shift from being a follower to being a leader, right? And not all people are leaders. Because very few, like you have to think like the very few that are leading are like the 1%, right? Good, bad, and different. It just is what it is. It's like there's not a lot of shift in that process. But like if you have disgrace in your vibrational field, if you have narcissistic people that you've dealt with, and there are cords of attachment, remember if it's sex. If you've had sex with a narcissist, it will be with you for 6 months. It's energetically just the way it works when you connect and blend in the field. Because a lot of people don't understand that, right? Like when you have sex, an orgasm is enough cosmic boom to create a life force, to ask a soul to come into a body, right? Through the vibrational frequency of karma. In all honesty, a lot of kids are karmic. They're full of lessons. It's just kind of what happens when we don't deal with our own shit, right? um and it's the understanding of the lessons that you've signed up for, the how you're coming into and overcoming, understanding like the environment in which you deserve and not settling until you actually get it, right? It's not ego, it's understanding self-worth. It's not being repressed, it's being re-engaging. It's honoring like your own journey and your own values and the what it is that you want as you proceed forward, and calling on your elder council. For those of you that don't know, you very well could possibly have an elder council of 5. That is a possibility, possibly even 6 for some of you, depending on the connection to your oversoul or to your pod. Is there anything else that I need to pull? They're saying that they want you. I want one of these for the teleportation and the levitation. Um, I don't know why, but the diary of a yogi is coming up. Yogananda. You may want to look at that. That has some really cool stories of how people have come into their gifts, right? And a sound codex. Like you could very well be downloading in brand new vibrational frequencies and alignments and DNA upgrades. So get out into the sun, understand what it is that you are vibrating at and what you are feeding your soul, right? And if you're see yourself doom scrolling, ask yourself, like, how are you vibrationally feeling? And if you are like continuing that, how is it adding value as you proceed forward, right? So I would really dig at that process of like asking for divine intervention, because with this upgrade, like, you are going to not only be pulling in different vibrational frequencies. Yeah, it's something you're not a gatekeeper, but you're a planet